Well, good morning, everybody. I hit record, Julianne. Thank you so much. Oh, my word. You guys are so funny. You early birds that pop in here first thing. I love reading y'all's chat. Yeah, you guys, Candace had it right. She said, she was talking to somebody who's got like in the 40s, and the person said it's chilly, and she said, your chilly is my cold or my freezing. I got thin blood, y'all. It gets in the 70s. I get cold. It's terrible. Yeah. I'm going to pour myself another cup of coffee here. I had to change my coffee mug. We went to the coast for the weekend, and, I load the dishes in the dishwasher. I can't stand to come home to dirty dishes. And so I just put them in the dishwasher. There wasn't enough to run it, but my mug was in there. And so I didn't get clean dishes. My cup is not clean. Yeah. Oh, well, Jenny, if you have to work, she says she'd love to sew with us. But she has to go to work. That horrible 4-letter word. Well, you have a good day, my friend. I hope you have a good week. Okay. All right. You guys are all coming in from all over the place. Diane's here from Australia. She likes to stay up late to watch. But yeah, it's great. You guys, if you brought pastries or any kind of anything, there is a kitchen across the hall, and you can put everything over there and share. We've got coffee. We have juice. There is fruit for those of us that are watching our weight. When we got back from, so we went to Baton Rouge, and then we went to Tempe, and then got back, and y'all, my weight was up about 4 pounds. Oh my goodness. And my husband just walked by. Close the door, please. No, he says. And my weight had gone up about 4 pounds. Well, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning at 8:30. And so all weekend I've been like, I need to, I don't do the Weight Watchers anymore. I lost like 30 pounds back in 2022 with Weight Watchers, and I've kept it off this whole year and a half. And so I don't do the app anymore. I don't pay the monthly thing, but I keep it in my head how to eat, how much to eat, so I'm back down this morning to a satisfactory number on my scale. Oh my goodness. Y'all, it is so good to see you guys this morning. Okay. I did get some work done while I was at the coast last weekend. I had told y'all that I need to, my finger itches. We had those little bugs down there. Something bit me. So I had told you that the room, so I bought another Brother PQ 1500, and I wanted to put it at our house at the coast, because what I had down there was a Brother Quattro, which I don't like to piece on that machine. I like it for embroidery. Okay. But I don't like to piece on it. And so, it's one of those things when you go to declutter somewhere or clean it out. So the room that it was in was y'all, it's a single wide mobile home. It's not some fancy coast house, bay house, as you would, the rich folks call it over in the HOA across the street. It's just a single wide mobile home. And I put my little sewing table in between the dining room and the living room, and that's where I was sewing all the time. Well, I needed to move that Quattro, which is a big, heavy machine, and put it on a rack up off the floor in the room where we store a lot of stuff and the dogs sleep and all that. Well, make a video on the binding tool. Oh, exactly. Judy. Okay. Judy wants me to make a video on the binding tool. All right, my friend. Let me do this right here. You don't know how to use it exactly. Okay. Well, tip number 1, you have to use your regular 1/4 inch foot. Okay. You can't use the open toe or the little bowl foot or any of that. Anyway, So let me get back. So, okay. Colleen's got the same mug I do. My stepmom gave that to me. When life gives you scraps, make a quilt. So anyway, so, oh, Bernadette's making Bloody Marys tomorrow. Y'all, saddle, buckle up. Look out. So in order to move the machine onto the rack I wanted to put it on, I had to move a room full of stuff in order to reach the rack. And in order to clean out the room full of stuff, some of that stuff went in another spot in the house. And I had to clean that out in order to be able to make room for the stuff that should have been there in the first place. You guys know how this goes, right? You do one thing and then another and another and another. Ugh. I did spend probably about 2.5 or 3 hours on this, but I used the method from Dana K. White from A Slob Comes Clean. She is a professional declutterer. If there is such an animal, she is it. Yes, Candace calls it the snowball, and it totally was. So the first thing you do is you go in with a black trash bag and you get rid of obvious trash. Just old bags, old receipts, packages that should have been thrown away, but the object that was in the package is no longer there. And you just go through and start doing that. And then you have another, you run across something that should be somewhere else in the house. It has an obvious home. And I didn't exactly put it away, but I put it in the area, the zone of where that place was. Most of it, we got a little cabinet under the microwave in the kitchen. And that's where we keep tools we get all the time and the duct tape and stuff. So then there is a donation. There's a donation spot as well. So that was on top of the washer and dryer, was all the donate stuff. That was in the little hallway. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the befores and the afters, but I managed to finish it. This, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me pull this up. You guys, this is nuts the way this works. Okay, I'm going to go present and share screen. Yeah. Kim's decluttering like crazy. Good for you, Kim. It makes your life so much better. Okay, so let me share this folder. And I'm going to start with the beginning, okay? All right. Let me get this to pull. Can you guys see it? Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. So, hot mess, y'all. Hot mess. Okay. This is that table I was wanting to get rid of. I was telling you guys, okay? Right here, that pink that table. So that's that fold down table from Joann's. I'm sorry. I was looking at a different screen, so you guys only saw the thumbnails. All right. Just a mess. And this table right here, that's that folding table, that's what ends up being in the room to put stuff on to store. So this is the toolbox, and then over right here is my scan and cut. Okay. So and that's what the dogs had to sleep with, all that stuff on top. This is electrical stuff, an ice chest, and some fishing gear. And then here's his fishing gear. Just a mess. Just a hot mess. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what was going on here. Now I've got a couple of mats right there hanging, and I ended up hanging them on these little hooks on the side. But they're just laying down under here. That's not healthy for your mats. And then I couldn't get the closet door closed because of the iron. I mean, there was just so much junk. It wasn't junk. It was stuff we use, but it just wasn't put away. Okay, so here's the Quattro down here on the bottom shelf now. Tucked away. And then I put a, There, I put a little rag over it, and I actually ended up putting a blanket over it. That little bowl right there is full of baking soda. It helps deodorize the room because the dogs, dogs, keeps the smell away from the dogs. That's a trick I learned when I was in the military. You can put either baking soda, a plate of baking soda, or a plate of dry coffee in a refrigerator, and it will get rid of the smells. So now the dogs aren't in fear of their cages collapsing anymore. Not that they ever thought that. And there's the fishing setup there. I've cleaned up my scan and cut area. I got the ironing board into the closet. You can close the closet door now. And that's what the room looks like as a whole. So if we can go from before big hot mess to after. Yep. And then there's the new machine in her new home. So that's what my life was like this weekend. Let me close this. There we go. I did get to relax. Yeah. Y'all, I had to go through that mess. That's one of those things that just, it was awful. Yeah. I mean, and it was just, okay, one thing at a time. But once you get going, you start on a momentum, and you just start building up your decluttering muscles. I found things like, I'll be honest with you, on his fishing rack, there were 2 bags. Let me show you again on the fishing rack. Let me see if I can. I don't think I have it up. I don't believe I do. Maybe I do. Let me share this. On his fishing rack right here. Let me make sure you guys can see this. You can. Okay. This pink bag and this teal bag, they look like bags we'd pick up at, they look like bags we would pick up at a quilt show or something like that. Well, there's a reason for that. They were full of my projects. One of them had one of those jelly roll rugs. When you go to make a jelly roll rug and you have to fold that stuff and you turn it into 8 miles of rope, and then you've got to wind it around and around and around. The rug was probably like this big. It was oval. It was about this big. It was about that, maybe this wide. Okay. And it was oval. My hands hurt so bad putting that together. And then the more I made it, my hands hurt. And I was like, I'm not willing to go through the hand pain to finish this. The more I make it, the less I like it. It was like an aqua to a purple big jelly roll. I let it go. Nobody could use it. It wouldn't be a donate. There's no quilt store near me anymore. There's nothing. So I took the bag. I saw what was in it. It had been a couple of years since I had touched it. I let it go. The other one had a UFO quilt that was supposed to be the ladies in my DAR group had all done some blocks, and they were not put together very well and would have required an enormous amount of time for me to unpick the blocks and put them back together right. Some of them, a lot of them had been cut wrong. A lot of them were going to have to be cut down because the blocks that I got from certain people were the wrong size. I let it go. I paid for all the fabric and I divvied out all the blocks. And then when they came back, there was more work, and that's been there for 4 years. And I let it go. That's right, Candace. It's like frozen. Let it go, let it go. Y'all, I just, yes, we all have to let go of projects like that. I did that in a big declutter here with you guys, but that was something I knew I was going to have to explain myself. I didn't have to. I could have just let that. Yeah. My friend Valerie is a taker. I know, Valerie, you have enough stuff in your room already. You know you do. You know you do. I don't want to be the reason. Yeah. You guys are something else. No, I had to let it go. I didn't want to bring it home. I didn't want to have to expend the energy to find something to do with it. I just had to let it go, you guys. So, and after I let it go, I didn't feel a bit of guilt or anything. It was like, I'm free of that. Yay, that's good. That's right. Yeah. Oh, Frida has RA and she has to go. Yeah, that's hard. Y'all, mine's not RA, it's osteoarthritis, but your hands hurt. Mine don't freeze up like you, bless your heart. But my hands hurt. So I just had to let it go, y'all. And a good thing too, I did not throw out a lot of trash. There was only like not even a full black bag of trash, and 2 of those things in the bag were those bags of there was stuff in those bags that were bulky. So I just put them in there. And anyway, yes, Julianne says, good choice. I have other things to keep me busy. And that is true. Speaking of keeping me busy. So I made that afternoon quilts. Let me get some space here and show you guys. I did do my afternoon quilts. All right. So this is one of those afternoon quilts. It's nice and cuddly, you guys. It comes as a kit. I bought it at the San Antonio Quilt Guild Quilt Show. This is the one with the frogs for my youngest grandson. He'll be 7 this month. What day is it? The 9th. He's 7 in 3 days. Ugh. How did that happen? Anyway. Grammy needs to overnight something from Amazon. So, yep. Look at this. Oh, she loves that Dana says that sewing our UFOs and PhDs is decluttering. And you did that with one of your UFOs and realized you hate sewing fleece and let the whole shelf go. Amen, sister. Nothing wrong with that. If that doesn't bring you any happiness, let it go. Hopefully it went to someone or some cause that could use it, but let it go. Nothing wrong with that. I would probably hate sewing fleece too if I didn't do this on my long arm. Somebody asked me a question. How do you prevent your minky from stretching on the long arm? Y'all, I put the selvages on the bars. That really helped a lot. It's going to be floppy anyway, but this stuff wasn't too bad. But I put the selvages on the long arm to make sure I get it straight. If you put the sides on the long arm, you run the risk of too much or not enough, when you're putting it on there. So I did Quilt As You Go. Mary Jo changed my life and told me quilt as you go. So I did. And that means I laid the blue piece out face up and stitched it down. I stitched it down on all 4 sides. And then I laid this blue strip. This is nice fabric too, y'all. It's from Moda. Laid this blue strip face down on top of this one and sewed it together. And once I got to the other side, then I used one of those cordless irons and I ironed it out, got it nice and flat and straight. Then I took the green strip and put it face down and sewed it right there along this outer edge of the blue and continued down the whole quilt like that. And it turned out just absolutely stinking adorable. Now the selvages on this, the binding on this, they tell you to put the binding end to end versus on the diagonal. Okay. So I've got to sew that on That's going to be harder for me than sewing it on the diagonal. I've been sewing it on the diagonal for so long. But I started on the side here and just went down all the way around so that my my miters are all going the same direction. So, and that turned out real good. So I put the binding on while it was on the long arm. And then, y'all, the cutest long arm design, the quilting design. Do you see the frogs? That's called that's Leapfrog from Urban Elements. It needed to be big. It's got little dragonflies and frogs. Isn't that just the cutest? Cutest thing. Love it. Minky is your love the yeah. Thank you, Julianne. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I got it off the long arm yesterday. The batting for Molly's quilts is here. And for those of you who are new, my friend Dana, her sister Molly, is going through chemo. She just shaved her head the other day because she went short and then her hair just started falling out in clumps. And fortunately, she looks good in a do-rag. Yes, Colleen, that's exactly what I did. I added the strips and quilted as I go on the long arm, as I went down the long arm. Yes. You had an extra S in there, my friend. I didn't mean to do that. I noticed it at the last second. Typo. So I ordered, this is Quilter's Dream batting, and it's a twin size. So this is the right. I made a jelly roll race. Dana told me her favorite color is navy. So I made a jelly roll race quilt. This is the top. And I have some gorgeous navy Minky for the back so she can stay warm in her treatments. Yeah, she used to ride motorcycles. And so she looks good in a do-rag. Always has. She's got the nice face for it. So she's doing what she can. Oh, that's very nice, Liz. Life's so busy. Yeah. Oh, life. So you've been sewing little purses for cancer children's at St. Jude's. If any leftover fabric you didn't want, I could donate to you. Okay. Yeah, you could, girl. That, and I appreciate that. You got to box it up. Got to get it gone. And it's not, I don't mind paying the shipping. Okay. How long do I go on a jelly roll race? Amy wants to know, how long do you go on a jelly roll race before you start a new line? When you run out. So on a jelly roll race, what you do is you sew the strips end to end to end, not side by side, end to end until it's 1,680 inches, right? Then you fold it in half. So when you run out, you fold it in half, you cut it in half, and then you sew those two sides where you move them or, flip it around the other way so the colors aren't the same. And then you sew those two together. And then when you run out, you cut that in half and flip it and sew it together and continue to do that until you get to, whoops, wrong one. Until you get to, this quilt final size is 49 by, I have 68 and a half is what it is. So it's a nice cuddle size quilt. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Molly's pretty sick, you guys. She's really sick. Okay, like uncurable sick. So, incurable, uncurable. All we can hope for now is just some peace, comfort, right? So today I've got to work on, I'm going to get Molly's quilt on the long arm and get it hopefully ready, done. But I also want to finish the block for this one over here, the big red, white, and blue American Pie. Oh, that block right there, those red, white, and blue blocks. I need to finish that up. I want to finish that up this morning. So, all right. I found my navy blue. This is Midnight. This is Connecting Threads Midnight. Yep, that's what I was using to finish up. Oh, and you guys, that video, the video on how it was to finish, to put a sleeve with 3 stitches. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, you guys, that scarecrow panel's gone. Gone. I called Pat Fryer from Villa Rosa Designs and I said, hey, I just left her a voicemail. I said, hey, can you please order more of that? And she did. She called me back and she said, I've ordered more of it. And yesterday before the live, I checked when I put the link there and they were in stock. And before the live was even halfway over, they were gone. So I need to make sure I get this correct on this block. And that is not correct. And that is not correct. Here we go. I think I got to figure out what I'm doing here, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how this goes. So I think this goes like that. Does that go like that? Yes, it does. Okay. Keith got the dogs up. Uh-oh. Robin says that Pellon's half off over at Joann's. Y'all jump on that and go get your SF-101 for your embroidery and some heat and bond. I like this Essential Pro from Connecting Threads. I've got a link to it below. It says thread that Becky uses in her machine. I like this. They've got tons of colors. It lasts forever. I piece with this and it's not shiny like embroidery thread. Okay. So I piece with this, but this is a poly and it works so good in this machine. And y'all know I was looking for a navy blue bobbin. I said I knew I had made one. And I ended up using black on the Praises quilt. It was sitting right here in my bobbin maker the whole time. I found it yesterday. But I think I put it in the machine, so I need to take it out. Yep, I did. It's right here. That's where it is. Yes, SF-101 does. Yes, there is black SF-101, and I will use that on black backgrounds. I've done that before. What's in there? Send me a recipe for chemo cookies. Oh, it helps with the nausea. Oh, Jamie, thank you. That would be very nice. Power tools with thread at outlook.com. I can make them. I'm pretty handy with a spoon. So, y'all, Molly's only 63. Bless her heart. Same age as my husband. Let's see. Yeah, you guys, when the cute stuff comes along, you got to get up pretty early in the morning. What is that? The early bird gets the worm, right? There's a reason that saying is there. Heading to your workroom instead of your phone. Okay, Susie, we'll see you in a minute in the workroom TV. Hey, you guys, take a second and hit the thumbs up if you would, please. Yesterday, people were having trouble. If you're watching on a TV, hit the up arrow on your remote. That works. That's what I'm being told that works. I've got that going the wrong way. Oh, God. I got to get this done. So much to do today. I'm trying to hit this on the point and get it right. What light am I using on my table, Jamie says. You like that? Yeah. That is called a slimline light. It's by the Daylight Company. I picked it up at the show at Houston last year. All brands had them. It's great. It's got, so you can move it everywhere, wherever you need it, right? And it holds really tight. And then it's got 5 levels of bright. So I'm on number 4 right now. 3, 2, 1. Oh, off. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. 4 levels of light. Isn't that cool? This will work. I love how we support each other in here. You got yours on Amazon, Gloria? Okay. I need to put a link to it below if I can find one. Yeah, they're great. They're not cheap. They're an investment. You guys know I say that when stuff's expensive, right? They're not cheap. Worth every penny. Anything by the Daylight Company is worth every penny. My light box, that wasn't cheap. I got that at Sulky. That was not cheap. Okay. I think Frito's coming through the door. Good morning, baby girl. You guys, Frito's in here. Good morning. Did you see? Good, huh, babies? I'm getting you a new mat. Yes, I'm getting you a new mat. Sweet girl. Oh. Okay. She was so excited when Valerie got here yesterday for the live. Valerie gives her cookies. Well, little dog biscuits. Dog cookies. She got so excited. She was sitting still to get her biscuit. And she tinkled. And she felt really bad about that. Because she knows better. She put her little ears down. I was like, what'd you do? She, oh, I'm sorry. She wandered off. She was upset. She knows better. She just forgot herself. I told Valerie it was her fault. That's right. Gloria says it was expensive, but after you spend it and you use it, you forget how expensive it was. And you're just like, oh, I'm so happy with this. I am so happy with it. Yeah, I have to turn my machine on, y'all. Okay, I've got white thread over there. I've got white thread in the bobbin. I think I'm good. What happened to my needle minder? Where did my needle minder go? Things moved around while I was gone. Let me put that there. Okay, that'll work. I hit my points. That looks good. And that one looks good. That'll work. What size needle do I use on my Luminaire? Paula, I use the 11, what do they call it? EBBR. This is what I use. 7511. This is what came with the machine. Focus. This is Organ Needles, 7511 EBBR. The EBBR is embroidery. Okay? 7511. Standard. I use it to sew with and I use it to embroider with. Okay? I used to have thread shredding problems until I went and got that and started using Organ needles. That's what they're timed with at the factory. So I don't use any other needles now other than Organ. This is my little ironing station, y'all. I've got a Steady Betty ironing surface. I have this is my seam roll from Gray Rooster. Best in the industry. I've got a link below to his shop and my little clapper. I thought about moving my table right here, the table that this sits on kind of sideways, so you guys, the camera's behind the table. I don't know. Let's see which way I want to fold this seam. Oh, I want to fold it that way. Okay. Toward the red. So that it's nice and crisp. Yes, even for embroidery. Yes. Oh, Sharon got her mojo to work on bringing home the Christmas tree. Good for you. Yeah, that's what this is all about. Inspiring and motivating each other. That's great. It's just, you know, Christmas is coming. If you guys want to dress up the house, that'd be great. I've got some things I got to work on. Do I ever press seams open? Janet wants to know. I do, but not when I have to nest them. If they need nested, I don't, because I'm not good at nesting my seams. But when they're open, I'm not good at nesting my seams. But if they don't need nested, I do press them open. But when you use the presser bar and the clapper together, these seams are so flat, you would, and this is a Cricut mini iron, you guys, no steam on this. I love it. It's nice and hot, and it's very easy to use. Stays on for 13 minutes. So, but if I have to nest, I don't press my seams open. So look how flat these are. They look great. Those points are good. Yes, Kim says the 1500 PQ 1500 is for sale for less than 700 on Amazon. Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. Kim says the Baby Lock accomplishes the same machine. They come from the same factory, you guys. That used to be called the Baby Lock Jane, and they changed the name on it. Okay, and then this piece goes, this is like playing puzzles, you guys, down here. Okay. So when I pin, let me zoom them in for you new folks so you can see how I pin. Because I do things very, very unorthodox. Okay. So what I do is I look for where, if you're new to quilting, where's my marker? Let me put this down here. You can see what I'm doing. If you're new to quilting, so you've got these seam lines. There's my seam line. And there's my seam line. I got a thread in the way. Where these seam lines cross, right there, the point of that cross, where the X right there. Okay. That's the target. So I take a pin and I go in right where they cross. And I hope I hit the pin right at the point. This one is a tiny bit low. Sometimes you have to go on top of that thread as opposed to inside the cross. Right. So here, the pin is exactly on the point of that. Okay. So that's there. And then I'm going to put it exactly on the point of its partner across where it goes. I'm going to nest these seams. Looks like I've got to push this one the other direction. I do. So both of these seams are going the same way. Somebody's got to give. Okay. And I'm going to have it be the other one, the blue one. Somebody's got to give because it's easier to fold that over. And I'm going to put it directly in on the point, and then to nest, I'm butting those up right. This thing's wobbling everywhere. Let me hold it still. Okay. So It doesn't matter if the edges are not even right here. That does not matter, okay? I'm holding the pin, I'm butting the edges of these two pieces, those seams, right next to one another. Hold the pin horizontal. It's kind of fiddly. Hold the pin horizontal between your fingers like this. See how that pin is exactly horizontal? Then you take another pin and you go in one side of the seam allowance at an angle and out the other. Okay. Now, then you can pull your horizontal pin. The reason I go at an angle, see how the pin's at an angle? I don't do the pin horizontal. I do the pin at an angle so that as I'm traveling down and I'm sewing, I can get one stitch over this seam line. And now the sewing has anchored those two pieces together. Then I can pull the pin and I don't have to worry about sewing over my pin. Okay. So, and then I sew these two corners. This is the end. I will put my pin horizontal and take a big bite out of it and sew it just like that. Same goes for this one. Okay. I'm going to go put it in on this point, right at the point. There we go. I'm going to put it exactly on the point on the blue. Whoop. I got to fold that seam allowance the other way. See, if my seam allowance was pressed open, I don't hit it. It's probably the way I do it. These are not even. These are not even at all. The one in the back is taller than the one in the front. That's okay. That's fine. So now in one side of the seam allowance and out the other at an angle, and I can pull this. Now, the seam allowance, so I'm going to try to get those even. See how that's sticking up higher in the back? I'm going to push it down. I'm going to make it level. It's going to be a little bit goofy, but that's okay. We can fix it with steam in the end. I can steam it into submission on the end block. When you're doing this and you're trying to match points in the middle of a block, start on your 1/4 inch seam allowance on one end, finish on that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And if you have to travel to hit those points, if you've got to move away from the 1/4 inch in the center of the block to hit those points, that's fine. Make it very gradual so that it's not an obvious, angle that you're working on. So I want to show you guys. Let me see here. Let's see how this goes. I'm aiming directly for that point. Uh-oh, let's see. I've got some extra fabric. Hopefully I won't get it tucked. I won't. This one, yeah, so much for that. I'm too far away on that one. I've got one extra stitch. Well, it's worked before. It didn't work at all on this one, did it? I didn't do it right. Okay. The concept is solid, you guys. I've done it a million times, but sometimes it doesn't work. That happens. I'm going to undo the whole thing and start all over. See, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's because I was talking. What's going on here? Your fabric shifts at the end of your piece. Is it your foot? How do you prevent that? It's making you crazy. So at the end of your piece, anchor where you start and where you finish. Normally, I pin my joins first in the middle, and then I anchor the ends. Some of that is the machine. I will give you that, okay? If you have a single hole needle plate that you can put on, try that. That prevents that wiggle and wobble. If your machine has the ability to do a zigzag stitch where that needle's got to go left, right, left, right, left, right. That hole where the needle goes in and out allows room for the fabric to wiggle wobble as it goes through. Part of the problem is this came apart. There's part of my problem. Let me fix this. That's no good. Let me fix this. Okay. All right. Yeah, see, like, look. I mean, look at these joins, you guys. Those are perfect. You get joins like that. That's what you're after. 9 times out of 10, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's okay. Let's try this one more time. Make sure I got it right. Yes, I do have it right. Okay, we'll do it one more time. I've got to go in at the top of the point. And I'm going to press this because it was acting up. Make it go the other way. Get those joins exactly together. Hold that pin horizontal. And then go in one side of the seam allowance and out the other. There. Okay. Yeah. There are a lot of reasons things go wonky. But that's one of the reasons I pin the bottom of my blocks before I start sewing, because they do dance around on you. And I do not appreciate the dance. Nope. Put this right at this point. I went slow to show you guys what I was doing, but all right. Hold that pin horizontal, point to point, pin it in one side of the seam allowance, out the other. Sometimes you can just wing it and you hit it and it's like, yay, I got it. But those odds are, not good. Okay, pull this. All right. This is looking better already, you guys. I kind of knew on the last one. The PQ 1500, I've traveled with it. I have. It's okay. It's not a super lightweight machine. It's a semi-industrial, so that's a steel case, you guys. It's heavy. But if you're going to be piecing, I just don't like to piece on anything else at all. I mean, there's a reason they make this machine. It has a purpose. Aha. That's better. That's better. So that one looks good. And that looks pretty good. I can live with that. It's good enough for government work, you guys. I like it. I like it. Yep. Oh, Norma, aren't you sweet? Thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for emailing me the recipe. I appreciate that. I'll take a look at it and maybe whip up a batch so that I can take them over there to her. Norma, you are so nice with your super sticker. Thank you, Mama. Well, I don't know, you guys. It came out exactly the same as the last one. I don't know. I hit it on the point. Huh. Oh, well. I'm going to have to play with that. No, most of y'all brother machines, but Janome has a straight stitch. Yes. Yes, Cindy, Janome makes great machines. I have a Janome cover stitch machine. I love that machine. But I bought another cover stitch. It's the Brother CV3550. And it does cover and serge at the same time. It's sitting in the box right over here. I don't have it out yet, but I need to get on that. So, well, Norma, I'm glad you made it to the morning chat. Yeah, we love to have you here. That's wonderful. We're not machine snobs in this place, you guys. I'm a Brother baby. Well, I don't work for Brother, obviously, but I love my Brother machines. I think they are the best bang for the buck. Janome makes a fabulous machine. Huskies are good. You know, we're not machine snobs here by any means. I just have what I have and show you guys how I do what I do. Ginger, this is the first time on your phone. The TV has a little delay. So I was watching the Texas OU game, and I was in a restaurant that had multiple TVs, right? And I'm watching on this one TV, and I'm all excited because we're down to just a minute left, and we were ahead, and life was good. And the TV across the room was ahead of the TV I was watching. So everybody on the other side of the room knew that Texas lost before I did. Yeah, that was on Saturday. You guys, yeah, Jane's got it right. Jones got it right. JJ Ivy. I was thinking Baby Lock Jane. I'm sorry. Jones got it right. Buy what you can afford. Buy the most machine you can afford. Absolutely. Don't go cheap. Buy the most you can afford. That is my motto. If you want to invest in a machine, you know, console yourself with it. The kids can have the house when you're gone because it's your turn for the machine. Absolutely support your dealers, you guys, if you can. Support your brother and all of your dealers. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, this has been fun. A great way to start my Monday and a wonderful way to start my week, even if my points didn't match on that last strip. So you guys are going to, Elizabeth says she's so excited to get that for somebody to get the brother. Oh, that brother, the cover stitch / serger out of the box. You're in need of a serger and a cover stitch machine. Yeah. And Elizabeth, this machine is very reasonably priced. So I'm excited to do it. It does, so I've got a seam on my pants. It's black. You probably can't see it. So you've got the covers. For those who don't know what that machine does, I'll show you guys. Let me show you the seam on my shirt. The bottom of your t-shirt, you've got a row of 2 stitches. Yes, Barbara Brother makes a combo machine. They sure do. And I just got it. Let me hide that. So this normally what you do, this cover stitch machine, what it does is it does that cover stitch on the back to hide, and it does 2 rows on the front. That is a cover stitch machine. If you only have a regular, the cover stitch. So Karen, that's what I'm explaining. Okay. So what you do is you've got to, it's got 3 or 4 threads. Usually I can't remember how many mine has a 4 thread. So what you do is you've got to fold the edge under on a t-shirt. It's usually done on knits or like on the sleeve, anywhere you've got that 2 rows of stitching, and then there is a cover underneath. So normally what you do is you will fold under a 1/2 inch or whatever the edge is going to be on this, and then you fold it under, and then you have to flip it over and you stitch from this side. So you're doing it blind. You've got a seam guide on the machine. So you go through there, and then what it does is it does the cover stitch on the back. It looks like a serge stitch, and it does the 2 rows on the front. That's really handy. Yeah, Bernina has one on theirs too. So bye, Barbara. Have a good day. Greta the Doberman wants her walk. So what the combo machine does, the Brother combo machine does, is it does a serge and a cover stitch all at the same time. It's got 5 spools, and you don't even have to fold it under either, because it's got a foot that will tuck that under for you. You do get the serge on the outside if you have all 5 spooled, that serge look like for active wear on the outside. Like a blind hem on steroids, Karen says. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I've got to play with that. I've got to get it out of the box, play with it, make a video on it. I've got so many videos I got to make. All right, you guys. I have got to go, and you have got to go. We all have things to do. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for starting your week with me, and I will see you here tomorrow morning. And I might be working on the long arm tomorrow instead of sitting here at the machine. We shall see. All right, you guys. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day. You guys go sew something. Bye.